The lights in this Southside Chicago police station are buzzing like crazy. It's 2 in the morning, and I can taste blood from biting my cheek the whole drive over. When Sergeant Thompson called, he was real careful with his words. Miss Anderson, we have your niece and nephew. They're safe, but we need you to come down. I just threw on some clothes and drove right into the blizzard, holding the wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. Brandon and Sophie are here. They're safe. That's all that matters. But Thompson doesn't take me to the kids. He puts his hand on my elbow, firm, of almost pushing me past the waiting room. I see a flash of those silver emergency blankets. He leads me into an interrogation room instead. The door clicks shut and it sounds way too final. Thompson drops a plastic evidence bag on the metal table. Inside, there's a crumpled note. Even through the plastic, I can see my name in Jessica's handwriting. Miss Anderson. Thompson's voice is suddenly cold. Can you explain why a rich architect from Lincoln Park would send 2 little kids to a frozen industrial park in the middle of a blizzard? His words felt like a punch to the gut. What I didn't. Child abandonment is a felony in Illinois. He leans in, and I can smell the coffee on his breath. Child trafficking gets you even more time. You want to start explaining, my hands are shaking. This isn't real. This can't be happening. There's been a mistake, I managed to say, but my voice is all choked up. I live at 2400 North Clark in Lincoln Park. Where did you find the kids? Thompson just stares at me. 2400 South Clark Street, an abandoned industrial park. During a blizzard warning. They were wearing summer clothes. The difference hit me like ice water. North versus south, 1 letter. 2 completely different worlds. My address is nice streets with trees and coffee shops. South Clark is just warehouses and broken streetlights. It's no place for a kid, especially at night, especially in January. I have to stop and take a breath. I told my sister no. I sent her an email. I have proof. Thompson crosses his arms. People send emails to cover their tracks all the time, Ms. Anderson. The city park bid. That's 3 years of my work, all for one big presentation on Monday morning. When Jessica called, I was neck deep in drawings. And thank God you answered. Her voice had that frantic sound I know so well. I need you to watch Brandon and Sophie tonight. William surprised me with a trip to Aspen, and we're leaving in 2 hours. I can't, I told her. I told you last week about my deadline. This is important, Em. Family is important. I felt that old guilt trip coming, but I swallowed it down. I will not be home tonight. Do not bring them to my apartment. I will not answer the door. I hung up and sent an email right away at 3:30 p.m., just to make it clear, to have it in writing. I will not be home. Do not bring them. I will not open the door. Now Thompson is looking at me like I'm a liar, like I'm the kind of person who'd put kids in danger. The email could have been sent after the fact, he says, or you could have changed your mind and panicked when they didn't show up. Can I see them? My voice cracked. Please, I just need to see if they're okay. Something in his expression changed a little. Follow me. I push my chair back and follow him down the hall into a dark observation room. I can see them through the one-way glass. Brandon's wrapped in one of those silver foil blankets, the kind they give to runners. He's shaking so bad I can see it from here, his whole body just trembling with cold or shock or both. Sophie's sitting right next to him, gripping her stuffed bear, and her eyes are just gone. Completely empty. It's like she's not even there, like her mind went somewhere else to survive tonight. My knees just give out. I have to catch myself on the glass. Then that fog rolls in. The same one that's been with me for 28 years. The voice that always whispers, fix this. Protect Jessica. Take the fall for this. You're the responsible one. It's what you do. I could do it. I could tell Thompson it was all a big mix-up, that I meant to say yes, that the wrong address was just an honest mistake. I could make all this disappear for everyone. Everyone but Brandon and Sophie. The Uber driver, Thompson says behind me, was told their father was waiting for them. She dropped them at the curb and just drove off. I squeezed my eyes shut. You're lucky Mr. Henderson, the night guard at the industrial park, was on duty. If he hadn't heard them banging on his booth screaming for help. Thompson pauses, letting the silence say the rest. You'd be at the morgue right now, Miss Anderson, identifying 2 frozen kids. All the blood drains from my face, and I have to grab the windowsill to stay upright. This wasn't a mistake. This was on purpose. Jessica knew I said no. She read that email I checked, and the red receipt says 3:47 p.m. She opened it, read every single word, and then she did this anyway. This was payback for me finally setting a boundary. Payback for choosing my job over her. She sent them out there to die. I turn around to face Thompson. My hands are still trembling, but my voice is steady. I didn't call that Uber. I have the email I sent saying I wouldn't babysit. I've got proof I told her no. I look him right in the eye and don't look away. I'm not covering for her this time. Saying the words feels like stepping off a cliff. 28 years of being trained for this. Being the good daughter, the reliable sister, the family fixer. All of that just fell apart. Thompson studies my face for what feels like an eternity. Then he motions toward the hallway. Let's go back to the table, Miss Anderson. We'll start from the top. Thompson's phone sits on the metal table between us like a bomb. You said you can prove you told her no. Show me. My fingers are fumbling with my phone, trying to pull up the email thread. The timestamp glares back at me. 3:30 p.m. Read receipt. 3:47 p.m. I slide the phone across to Thompson, watching his eyes scan the words I typed just 12 hours ago, back when I actually thought a simple no would be enough. I need to make a call, I say. My voice sounds totally empty. Michael, her husband. He's in Cleveland for a conference. He can tell you I never agreed to this. Thompson stares at me for another long moment. Then he nods. FaceTime him. I want to see his face when he answers. My hands are shaking as I dial. The phone rings once. Twice. Then Michael's face fills the screen with the low hum of a hotel room behind him. He's rubbing his eyes, looking dead tired. His voice is scratchy with sleep. I literally just got into Cleveland. It's 3 a.m. What's wrong? Thompson leans into the frame. Mr. Richardson, this is Sergeant Thompson, Chicago Police. I need you to confirm something for me. Did your wife tell you her sister agreed to watch your kids tonight? Michael's face just went white. I'm serious. Like all the blood had just drained right out of him. Watch the kids, but Em's working tonight. I know she told Jessica no. He just froze. I could see it all click in his head. Where are Brandon and Sophie? They're safe, Thompson said. But just barely. Someone left them at an old industrial park on the south side, in the middle of a blizzard. We found them at 2400 South Clark Street. South Clark. Michael's voice cracked. Em lives on North Clark. How could they? Then silence. A long one. When he spoke again, his voice was just ice cold. I need to get into my home security. The Ring camera. Just give me 2 minutes. Thompson and I just sat there while Michael worked. I could hear him typing like crazy, muttering to himself. You could just feel how mad he was. Then my phone buzzed. It was a video file. Thompson pulled it up on his laptop. The timestamp said 5 p.m. Our house, the front door. And then Jessica just stumbles into the shot. She had a wine glass in her hand, barely holding on. I'm surprised it didn't just smash on the ground. She was just swaying back and forth. I mean, really swaying. Then Brandon shows up. You can hear his little voice on the video. Mommy, where are our coats? She doesn't even answer him. She just shoves him toward the door. Then Sophie comes out and she's in a summer dress. A summer dress. In January. Jessica just pushes them both out and slams the door. She never even looked at her phone. Didn't check the Uber address or anything. She just sent her kids into a blizzard without coats and went back inside for more wine. Thompson's jaw was tight. I'm going to need you to send that file to this email. Already did, Michael said over the phone. His voice was all rough. I'm on the next flight home. Don't you dare let her anywhere near my kids. And he hung up. Thompson shut his laptop. The click was super loud in the quiet room. You're cleared, Miss Anderson. I'll still need a formal statement, but you're not being charged. He stood up. Your sister, on the other hand, we'll arrest her for child endangerment as soon as we find her. I should have felt more relieved, but I didn't. It was just something. 4 hours later, I'm still in the waiting area when they show up. William and Patricia Anderson just stroll in like they own the place. Their fancy bags still have the airport tags on them. Thompson must have called them and they turned their flight around. They walked right by the room where their grandkids were wrapped in blankets and still shaking. Didn't even look in. Then William saw me and headed straight for me. Patricia followed right behind him, her heels clicking on the floor. Em, William said, his voice sharp. We need to talk. Privately. I'm not leaving the kids. The children are fine. Patricia grabs my arm. Her perfect nails dig in just enough to sting. What we need to talk about is damage control. Do you have any idea what happens to William's company if this gets out? I just stared at her. Your grandchildren almost froze to death. Don't be so dramatic. Then William pulls out his checkbook, right there in the middle of the police station, like he's paying for lunch at the club or something. He writes it out all smooth and easy and slides it over to me. $50,000. It's made out to me. The memo line is empty. Consider it a gift, William says, tapping the check. It's an early birthday gift, but presents are for family who actually support each other. M. Not for the ones who start drama. His voice got real low. Tell the cops it was just a family mix-up. You accidentally gave Jessica the wrong address. Do that, and this check is all yours. No harm done, he says. No harm, I could barely get the words out. Brandon was nearly frozen. Sophie won't even talk. An ace. Patricia leaned in. The smell of her perfume made me feel sick. This is what family is for, Em. We protect our own. You just tell them it was a mistake, and this all disappears. Think about Jessica. Think about her reputation. That's when something inside me just broke. Not a big shatter, just a quiet snap. Like a rope that was about to break for years finally did. I pulled out my phone and opened the voice recorder. Then I slid it right back in my pocket, still recording. So you want me to lie to the police, I said nice and clear. Tell them I gave Jessica the wrong address for $50,000. William's face turned bright red. Don't make this sound so ugly. We're just offering to pay off your student loans. A gift for lying under oath. Think about this family, Patricia hissed. Think about everything we've given you. I picked up the check. For a second, I just stared at it. $50,000. My student loans gone. All that pressure gone. All I had to do was lie. All I had to do was let them win just one more time. I tore it right in half. The sound was crazy loud in the quiet waiting room. William's face went from red to a scary shade of purple. I'm done covering for her, I said. And I'm done covering for you. Not for anyone. You're going to regret this. William's voice was low. Dangerous. You have no idea what you've just done. Oh, I know exactly what I've done. The station doors opened up again. Michael walked in. He didn't even look at William and Patricia. He looked exhausted, like he ran all the way from the airport. He went straight to the room where the kids were got on his knees and just pulled them into a hug, the only parent who put them first all night. Right behind him, a woman in a dark suit walked in. Rachel Morrison. The family lawyer I called 2 hours ago while I was sitting right here, watching my parents show their true colors. Rachel's eyes met mine. She gave me a single nod. The war had officially started, but this time I wasn't by myself. The next morning, I'm staring at my phone when the first notification pops up. A Facebook tag, then another one, then 5 more right in a row. My stomach just dropped. It was Jessica's face, her makeup perfectly streaked down her cheeks. The photo was professionally lit like she posed for a sad picture at sunset. The caption made my hands shake. When your own sister turns on you in your darkest moment, I trusted her with my kids. I don't know what I did wrong, praying for answers. The comments were already blowing up. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. Oh my God, Jessica, I am so sorry. Family should have your back. This is horrible. What kind of a sister does something like this? My phone rang. It was my Aunt Carol. I ignored it. It rang again. My Uncle Jim. Then my cousin Beth. Then numbers I didn't even have saved. I was just sitting on my floor in yesterday's clothes watching my entire family turn against me in real time. Then my work phone buzzes. It's David. He wants to see me. Right now. The elevator ride up to the senior partner's office feels like I'm heading to my own execution. I've been at this firm for 6 years, clawing my way up from an intern to an associate. That City Park bid was my big shot, my proof I could handle the major projects. Now I'm about to lose it all because my sister's a monster and my parents are loaded. David's assistant won't even look at me as she waves me in. He's standing by his window, looking over the Chicago River, his hands clasped behind his back. I can see the glow from his laptop on his desk. Sit down, Emily. I sit. My throat's so tight I can barely even swallow. David turns around and I brace myself for the words. We have to let you go. The firm's reputation. I'm sure you understand. But instead he just turns his laptop to face me. The email's from William Anderson. The subject line, urgent matter regarding employee conduct. I skim it. Every single word is like a new knife wound. Child endangerment. Police investigation. Unfit to represent the firm. The contract he's talking about $2.3 million for a development in Evanston is just sitting there like a threat. Keep Emily Anderson employed. Lose the contract. Mr. Anderson sent this to me and the other 3 senior partners at 6:42 this morning. David says, I can't breathe. This is it. 6 years. Just gone. I don't like bullies, Emily. My head snaps up. David closes the laptop with a sharp click. I've known William Anderson for 15 years. He's a mediocre developer who inherited his dad's company and has been coasting ever since. His contracts are never worth what he claims, and his threats are usually just hot air. That $2.3 million is really $1.8 million, and we both know it. David sits down across from me. More importantly, I called Sergeant Thompson this morning. He told me what really went down, showed me the ring footage. The relief hits me so hard I have to grip the arms of the chair. You're not firing me. Firing you. David actually laughs, but there's no humor in it at all. Emily, you just saved 2 children from freezing to death. Your sister belongs in jail, and your father belongs in the same cell for trying to cover it up. He leans forward. You have the firm's full support, whatever you need. Take paid leave if you need time to sort out this legal battle. Use our attorneys if it helps, but you are not losing your job over this. Something just cracks open inside my chest. For the first time in 3 days, I can take a full breath. I don't know what to say. Say you'll bury them. David's eyes are like steel. People like your father think money makes them untouchable. Prove him wrong. When I leave his office 20 minutes later, I'm crying in the elevator. But these aren't tears of despair anymore. That evening, I'm at the hotel where Michael's staying with Brandon and Sophie. It's an extended stay place in Lincoln Park, close enough to my apartment that I can just walk over. It's close enough that the kids don't feel like their lives are totally upside down. The room smells like pasta sauce. Michael's in the kitchenette stirring a pot of spaghetti while Brandon sits at the little table. His pencil is moving carefully across the paper. Aunt Emily, Sophie crashes into my legs and I scoop her right up. She's so warm and solid and alive. Hey, Butterfly, what are you drawing? Brandon's teaching me buildings. She wriggles down and drags me over to the table. Brandon's sketch is surprisingly good. The lines are clean, the perspective is perfect. It's my apartment building drawn in careful detail. This is amazing, Coop. He shrugs, but his ears get pink. You made it look so easy with your drawings. We have dinner together. A real dinner, not the frozen meals I usually microwave. Michael made garlic bread. There's even a salad. Sophie tells me she saw a butterfly, even though it's January. I'm pretty sure she just imagined it. Brandon doesn't say a word, but he eats 3 helpings. It feels normal. It's weird how normal it feels. After dinner, while Michael does the dishes, Sophie climbs up on my lap. Aunt Emily. Her voice is so small. Are you mad at Mommy? Every possible answer feels like a trap. I choose my words carefully. I'm sad she made choices that ended up hurting you. Sophie nods against my shoulder. She was drinking the special juice, the kind that makes her voice get loud. She means wine. I close my eyes and hold her tighter. Brandon appears in the doorway, holding his sketch pad tight against his chest. He's been so quiet since the police station, hardly talking. I thought we were going to die in the snow. The way he says it is so flat. It's worse than crying. Michael freezes at the sink. His back goes completely stiff. I kept telling Sophie we'd be okay, but I didn't really believe it. It was so cold. And there was nobody there, just empty buildings and snow. Brandon's knuckles are white from gripping his sketch pad. I couldn't feel my fingers. Sophie stopped crying and I thought, I walk right over and pull him into my arms. He's 9 years old. He shouldn't have to know what it feels like to think you're dying. You were so brave. I whisper into his hair. You kept your sister safe. You found help. You were so brave. I don't want to be brave, his voice cracks. I want to be a kid. Later, after both kids are asleep, Michael and I are just sitting in the kitchen. He's drinking coffee, even though it's almost midnight. I'm drinking tea that's gone cold. I've been blind, he finally says. She's been drinking for years, hasn't she? I could lie. I could protect Jessica one last time. But Brandon's words are stuck in my head. I thought we were going to die. Yes, I say, since before Sophie was born. Michael's jaw tightens. You knew. I knew. I covered for her. I made excuses. Admitting it feels awful. I thought I was helping her. I thought if I just supported her enough, loved her enough, she would stop. You can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. We're quiet for a while, but it's not awkward. I'm filing for sole custody tomorrow, Michael says. Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. It's Rachel Morrison texting me at midnight. Jessica filed a motion to get the kids back right away. The hearing is in 10 days. She's claiming you gave the driver the wrong address out of jealousy, and that Michael is guilty of parental kidnapping. I show Michael the text. His face goes totally blank, which is what he does when he's furious. Let her try, he says quietly. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from a number I don't know, but I know who it is before I even read it. You started this war. We'll finish it. It's from William. I look at Michael. He's staring at the bedroom door where his kids are finally sleeping peacefully. Are we ready for this? I ask. We're protecting the kids. His voice is steady. Okay, whatever it takes. The next morning, we're in Rachel's office. It smells like old books and strong coffee. We're sitting in these fancy leather chairs that must have cost more than my rent. She's laying out her whole plan, super precise. We're not going for a knockout in the first hearing, she says, sliding a yellow legal pad across the desk. Her handwriting is all sharp angles. We're setting a trap. Michael leans in. But we have the email. And the ring footage. We can end this right now. The footage shows she was negligent. Maybe that she was drunk, Rachel shoots back, tapping her pen. But a good lawyer, and you know William will hire the best will just say it was a momentary lapse in judgment. They'll argue she didn't mean to do anything criminal. They'll push for rehab and family therapy. Is that what you want? No, I say right away. Then we need her to lie, Rachel says. If she gets on the stand and swears you agreed to watch the kids and then we prove she's lying. It totally destroys her credibility. It proves she's a manipulative, unfit mother. That's how we get full custody, not just some temporary order. She looks back and forth between us. She's going to feel confident. She'll double down on her story. And when we prove she perjured herself in a custody trial, Judge Harrison will throw the book at her. Michael's jaw just tightens. How long do we have to wait? 30 days after the preliminary hearing. The court schedules are totally backed up. Rachel snaps her legal pad shut. Can you two hold it together for that long? Fine. I'm thinking about Brandon's shaking hands, about Sophie just staring blankly through the glass at the police station. I'm thinking about Jessica's wine glass on that video and how she shoved her own kids out into a blizzard. Whatever it takes, I say. The day of the hearing, we're at the Cook County Family Court. It's all dark wood and horrible fluorescent lights. The whole place is designed to make you feel tiny. The benches in the back are hard as a rock. I picked out my outfit carefully this morning. Just a plain gray sweater, no jewelry, and my hair pulled back. I need to look exhausted and beaten down. It's not a hard act to pull off. Jessica waltzes in about 20 minutes before it starts wearing a fancy cream-colored wool coat and some simple pearls. Her makeup is perfect, and she's got this look on her face like she's the poor, wounded victim. She won't even look at me when she sits down. William and Patricia grab the front row seats like they're at the opera or something. William's suit probably cost more than my car. I can smell Patricia's perfume from 3 rows back. It's expensive and way too strong. We all stand up when Judge Margaret Harrison comes in. She's a tall black woman. Her hair has streaks of silver, and she has a face that looks like it's heard every lie imaginable. Her eyes scan the room like she doesn't have time for any games. Be seated. Her voice cuts right through all the nervous noise. Let's proceed. Jessica's lawyer is some smooth talker from a downtown firm. I bet William plays golf with him. He calls Jessica to the stand. She puts her hand on the Bible and takes the oath, her voice all clear and steady. Miss Anderson Richardson. The lawyer starts. Can you tell the court what happened on the night of January 14th? Jessica dabs her eyes with a tissue, but I can see they're totally dry. I was supposed to go on a business trip with my father. I had already arranged for my sister Emily to watch Brandon and Sophie. She'd already agreed to babysit. My nails are digging into my palms. How did you arrange this? The lawyer asks. We talked on the phone that afternoon. She said yes, that I should send them over. Jessica's voice cracks just a little, like she's practiced it. I gave the Uber driver her address, 2400 North Clark Street, where Emily lives in Lincoln Park. I have no idea how the kids ended up on the south side. Maybe the driver made a mistake. Or maybe there was some kind of mix-up. Rachel's sitting next to me, just writing on her legal pad. She doesn't object. She doesn't say a word. She's just letting the lies pile up one after another, just waiting. Are you sure your sister agreed to watch the kids? The lawyer asks. I'm absolutely sure. She told me yes on the phone. I never would have sent them if she hadn't. She brings the tissue up to her face again. This time, Jessica actually manages to squeeze out a tear. No further questions, Your Honor. Judge Harrison looks over at Rachel. Cross-examination. Rachel gets up slowly. She's wearing a charcoal suit that makes her look sharp as a blade. Just a few questions, Your Honor. She walks up to the witness stand, and I can see Jessica relax a little. She thinks this will be quick and painless. Ms. Anderson Richardson, you testified that your sister agreed to babysit over the phone. Is that right? Yes. And you gave the driver her Lincoln Park address? Yes. 2400 North Clark. You're positive she agreed. You're testifying under oath that Emily Anderson told you yes. I see something flicker in Jessica's eyes. Maybe a little doubt, or she's starting to get suspicious. But she's in too deep now. She can't back down in front of William and Patricia, not in front of the judge. I'm absolutely sure. She said yes. Rachel nods slowly like she's buying it. No further questions, Your Honor. And that's it. No email, no ring camera video, no big gotcha moment. Jessica's lawyer looks confused. I see William lean forward and whisper something to Patricia. The judge is just looking over her notes. This looks like a family miscommunication that put the kids in a dangerous spot. Ms. Anderson, it bothers me that you didn't make sure the plans were clearer. Her words hit me hard. I try my best not to show any reaction. However, with things as they are and without clear proof, I'm keeping things as they are. Mr. Richardson will keep temporary custody. Ms. Anderson Richardson, you'll get supervised visits twice a week. A court-appointed social worker has to be there. The gavel bangs down. Next case. Everyone starts filing out into the marble hallway. William and Patricia are all over Jessica in a second. They're smiling like they've won, and it's a vicious look. William catches my eye as I walk by. He steps right in my way. You should have taken the check, Em. His voice is low just for me. Family always wins. Patricia grabs my arm tight enough to leave a bruise. This isn't over, dear, but you've already lost. Jessica's putting on a show for a small group of reporters who somehow heard about this. I just want my babies back, she says, her voice cracking. A mother's love never gives up. The cameras are eating it up. I just keep walking to the parking garage, my steps echoing in the stairwell. Michael and Rachel are following me, totally silent. We don't say anything until we're in Rachel's car, doors shut, engine on. Rachel snaps her leather notebook closed. She's on the record now, she says. Every single lie is documented, time-stamped, and under oath. I just stare at the concrete pillar in front of the car. But we lost today. We let her think she won. Rachel's smile is cold like a predator. Now we've got her. Michael's hands tighten on the steering wheel. I can see the moment he gets it. She just committed perjury. And in 30 days, Rachel says, we're going to prove it. The pillar in front of me gets all blurry as my eyes fill with tears. But not because I'm sad. It's something sharper, cleaner. It's hope. The next time in court, the room feels smaller, like the walls are closing in. Maybe it's all the reporters packed in the back, their cameras clicking nonstop. Or maybe it's William sitting right up front in a suit so sharp it looks like it could cut you with that same smug smile on his face. Jessica walks in wearing ivory, of course, the color of innocence. Her hair is done in these soft waves around her face. She's clutching tissues like a prop in a play. She's practiced over and over. The society photographers are all over it. I can already picture the headline. She's playing the part of a mother fighting for her kids. I just try not to feel small in my plain gray sweater. Michael's hand finds mine under the table just for a second. His hand is steady and warm. Rachel's sitting beside us, her folder closed. She looks almost bored, just scrolling on her phone while we wait for Judge Harrison. All rise. The whole room gets to its feet. Judge Harrison's face is like stone when she sits down. I remember how she looked at me at the first hearing like I was careless and irresponsible, a woman who couldn't even talk to her own sister. Today that's going to change. Miss Morrison, the judge says, you can call your first witness. Rachel stands up and she moves like a hunter. Your Honor. I'd like to recall Jessica Anderson Richardson to the stand. Jessica's lawyer objects, of course, but the judge just waves him off. Jessica walks to the witness stand with her chin up, looking so confident. She thinks this is just a formality before she wins. The bailiff reminds her she's still under oath. Mrs. Richardson. Rachel starts. Her voice is way too gentle. Last month, you testified under oath about what happened on January 14th, correct? Yes, Jessica's voice is completely steady. And you said that your sister Emily Anderson agreed to babysit your children that evening, right? That's right. Jessica looks at the jury playing the victim. She said yes, and then she just wasn't there. And you gave the Uber driver her address, 2400 North Clark Street. Of course I did. Jessica's getting cocky now. I would never send my children to the wrong place. I'm their mother. The courtroom murmurs on her side. William nods satisfied. Rachel turns to the big screen next to the judge's bench. Your Honor, I'd like to enter Exhibit A into evidence. The projector turns on. An email fills the screen, and I watch the color just drain from Jessica's face as she reads her own name. From Emily Anderson. To Jessica Richardson. Sent January 14th, 3:30 p.m. Subject read tonight. I will not be home, do not bring them. I will not open the door. Read receipt. Opened January 14th, 3:47 p.m. The timestamp is practically glowing. 6 hours before she sent those kids into a blizzard, the courtroom just erupts in whispers. I hear someone in the press section gasp. Mrs. Richardson! Rachel's voice cuts right through the noise. You opened this email at 3:47 p.m. You read it, and yet you testified under oath that your sister agreed to babysit. Which is it? Jessica's mouth opens. Then it closes. Her lawyer is on his feet objecting, but Judge Harrison gives him a look that shuts him right up. Answer the question, Mrs. Richardson. I forgot about the email. I thought... You forgot an email you opened 6 hours before the incident. Rachel doesn't even raise her voice. She doesn't need to. An email that said in all caps that Miss Anderson would not be home. The tissue in Jessica's hand is torn to shreds, little white bits falling on the floor. Let's move on, Rachel says. Your Honor, I'd like to play Exhibit B. The screen switches to a video. I recognize it immediately. It's from the Ring camera on their front door. The time is 5 p.m. The Jessica on the screen is nothing like the one on the witness stand. Her hair is a mess. Her sweater is all crooked. She's holding a wine glass. And when she moves, she sways. Not a lot, but just enough that you can see it. Brandon comes up to her. He's already in his jacket. Mommy, where's our coats? Jessica completely ignores him. She opens the door. You can see the blizzard raging outside, snow blowing sideways, and she pushes both kids out. Sophie is wearing a thin cotton dress in the middle of a blizzard. The whole room just gasped. I heard someone whisper, "Oh my God." Jessica doesn't even check her phone, doesn't say a word to the Uber driver waiting right there. She just closes the door, still holding her wine glass, and the video ends with Brandon's little face looking back at the house. He looked so scared and confused. Judge Harrison's face went from stone cold to pure fury. Mrs. Richardson. Rachel's voice was sharp enough to cut glass. Were you drunk when you sent your children out into a blizzard warning without any winter coats? I had one glass. One glass. The video shows you holding a wine glass at 5 p.m. hours before your flight was even supposed to leave. How many drinks had you had by then? Jessica's lawyer tried to object, but the judge shut him down without even looking at him, her eyes still locked on Jessica. I don't remember exactly. You don't remember, Rachel nodded slowly. Just like you didn't remember the email. My hands were clenched so tight my nails were digging into my skin. I could hear Michael's breathing get short and fast next to me. Your Honor, Rachel said. I have one last piece of evidence, Exhibit C. She hit play, and William's voice filled the courtroom clear as a bell. Just think of it as a gift, he said, an early birthday present. Then my mother's voice, sickly sweet and full of poison. Tell them you gave her the wrong address. These things happen. Then William again. Do that, and the check is yours. The recording played for 30 seconds. 30 seconds of my parents trying to bribe me, trying to make me a part of their sick plan to endanger their own grandkids. William shot to his feet, his face turning purple. That recording is illegal. She didn't have permission. Your conversation was in a police station waiting room, Mr. Anderson. Judge Harrison's voice was like ice. There's no expectation of privacy in a public building. The recording is admissible. Sit down. He sat. The judge turned to Jessica, and I've never seen anyone look so small. Mrs. Richardson, you have committed perjury in my courtroom. You have shown a pattern of recklessly endangering your own children. You were willing to lie under oath to get custody of children you almost killed. She paused, and the silence was deafening. Bailiff detained the witness. Jessica screamed a high-pitched shriek that echoed through the room. Her lawyer started yelling, but two bailiffs were already heading for the stand. Your Honor, please. You will be charged with perjury, child endangerment, and reckless conduct. Judge Harrison's voice cut right through Jessica's sobs. You have betrayed every trust given to you as a mother and as an officer of this court. The bailiffs grabbed Jessica by the arms. Her mascara was running in black streaks down her white dress. She was crying real tears now, the kind you cry when you're truly scared. The press went nuts, cameras flashing, reporters shouting. William tried to stand up, but one look from Judge Harrison pinned him to his seat. As for the custody of the children, the judge said, looking down at her papers, I'm awarding sole legal and physical custody to Michael Richardson, effective immediately. Jessica Richardson's parental rights are terminated, pending her criminal trial. She looked at me, and for the first time her expression was almost kind. Emily Anderson is named Permanent Emergency Guardian. Mr. and Mrs. William Anderson, your visitation rights are suspended until you've had a psychological evaluation. All court costs and Miss Anderson's legal fees will be paid by Mrs. Jessica Richardson. The gavel came down like a gunshot. They led Jessica out in handcuffs, still sobbing, her perfect hair a total mess. William and Patricia just sat there frozen as their whole world crumbled. The press swarmed them, shoving microphones in their faces. Michael pulled Brandon and Sophie in for a hug. They'd been waiting in the hall, and as soon as they came in, Sophie ran right to her dad. I was crying. I couldn't help it. But it wasn't because we'd won. It was just relief. Pure, total relief that it was finally over. Rachel closed her folder with a quiet snap and gave me a small nod. Justice served. 3 years passed, just like that. The trees in Lincoln Park were gold again. It was the third fall since that night. I was standing in a crowd at Millennium Park watching the mayor cut a ribbon for the Safe Harbor Garden. My design had won the city contract. The same design I almost gave up on to answer Jessica's phone call that night. Reporters are all over the mayor cameras flashing, but all I'm watching are the kids running to the playground. The main attraction is a climbing tower with safety nets based on the sketches Brandon drew in the hotel during those first awful days. It's not a memorial, it's a safe place. David claps me on the shoulder. This is one hell of a thing, Anderson. Your name's going on a plaque. I just shake my head, my throat feels tight. The work speaks for itself. That night, I'm in my kitchen chopping vegetables for Sunday dinner, and Brandon's at my table sketching some building plans. He's 12 now, all long arms and legs and completely focused. He moves his pencil with the same steady hand I use for my blueprints. Aunt Emily, how do you make the lines meet up in the distance without them looking all wobbly? I lean over his shoulder, showing him where to put the ruler. Lock in your vanishing point first. Everything else will follow. The downstairs door opens and Sophie barrels in her art smock, splattered with paint. She's 9 now, not the same scared little kid from the police station. Her laugh just fills the kitchen as she shows me her watercolor of the Chicago skyline. It's for your office, she says, so you remember us when you're being important. Michael comes in after her carrying groceries. We live in a 2-flat, now separate apartments, but we share meals. We share our lives. It's not romantic, it's something better. A family you choose, not one you're born into. Later, we're at Brandon's middle school graduation, and the auditorium is packed with proud parents and antsy siblings. I'm sitting between Michael and David watching Brandon go up on stage as valedictorian. His suit's a little too big. We got it with room to grow, and his hands are shaking, holding his speech. Real family. He says, his voice cracking for a second before getting steady, are the people who show up when you're scared. His eyes find me in the crowd. I start crying before I can even stop myself, and Michael just squeezes my hand. The whole place gives him a standing ovation. Brandon grins, embarrassed and proud all at once, and I just think about that shivering little boy in the silver blanket, how far we've come from that cold night. What I wrote in my journal that night was short. I used to think love meant just taking whatever happened. Now I know love needs boundaries. The next afternoon, Brandon's sprawled on my couch, and something's bothering him. My friend Tyler. His mom keeps borrowing money from him, like his birthday money, his savings from his summer job. Is that normal? I put my coffee down carefully. What does Tyler say about it? He feels guilty if he says no. She's his mom. The same old trap. I know it like the back of my hand. You can love someone and still protect yourself, Brandon. Those two things aren't opposites. He thinks about it for a minute, then nods slowly. He gets it. The lesson's sinking in. The cycle's breaking. I never answered any of William and Patricia's letters. At first, they came every month, then every few months, and then they just stopped. I found peace in the distance, not in making up. Some relationships don't get fixed, they just end. I heard about Jessica through Rachel's friends. She'd remarried a surgeon in Connecticut, Dr. Matthew Stevens. They had a new baby, Olivia. A fresh start she built on a bunch of lies, until the baby fell off a changing table. It was a small bump, a trip to the hospital just to be safe, a routine background check. Then the CPS flag popped up out of nowhere. Termination of parental rights. Severe neglect. Illinois, 2022. Rachel called to tell me. Stevens' parents got emergency custody, and he's filing for divorce. The past doesn't stay buried, Em. I feel nothing. Not happy about it, not sorry for her. Just an empty feeling, like a book that's finally closed. The night of Brandon's graduation, the three of us are standing on my balcony, watching the sun set over Chicago. The skyline is glowing copper and gold, just like the leaves in the park we built. Brandon suddenly wraps his arms around me. He's tall enough now that his chin is on my shoulder. Thanks for not taking the money, he whispers. Thanks for being brave enough to tell the truth. My chest gets tight. Michael puts his arm around both of us, solid and comforting. We built something better than what was broken. The city's spread out below us, millions of lights just starting to flicker on. Somewhere out in that big city, there are other families making impossible choices, setting boundaries they need, and choosing to be safe instead of silent. I can hear people laughing down on the street. Sophie calls from inside, asking if we want hot chocolate. Brandon pulls away to go help her, and I'm left standing with Michael, just watching our chosen family in the warm light of our home. This apartment, this life, this is the truth. It's better than blood, better than all the lies. Feels like I can finally start over.